Hello there, it's Psychic Cynthia here, and welcome. Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian, and welcome to you, my fellow spiritual psychic traveler on the path. And today I'm logging on to provide you with some tips for psychic cleansing of your home in this time of shut-in, in this time of stay-at-homeness. Really, at any time, we need to be cleansing our house. Have you noticed that now that we're under the stay-at-home order, at least at the time I'm making this video, we're at the stay-at-home order because of the coronavirus thing. And so we're not leaving our homes that much. We're there all the time. And even those of us who might still go out to work, I mean, I work at home, so I'm used to it. But even if you're in the medical field or retail and you go out to work, there's not much else to do besides that. So even you're probably still spending a little bit more time at home than normal. So our houses, we're there a lot more right now, which I think in some ways is wonderful. But what you're going to notice when you start to spend more time at home is that the need for psychic cleansing is probably going to increase because, you're there all the time, and especially if you live with others, everyone is there all the time, and especially in this time of crisis. Now, if you're watching this later, that part may not apply. But, if it is a time of crisis at any time and you're all there together a lot, then all those energies, are going to be accumulating in the house. I mean, really, it's no different than how if you're there all the time, you might have noticed that the dishes pile up faster, right? If you can't go out to eat, even if you get carry out, the trash piles up faster. You need to clean your floors more often to maintain the cleanliness of the house, basically, if you're there all the time, because at work, most people have janitors. But now you're working and, being at home all the time, so you and your family, you are the janitors. And, on the psychic level, okay, this video is not about just cleaning your house physically, okay? That is good, okay? I should say this, that, just cleaning your house, mopping your floors, doing a little vacuuming, wiping down the counters, it actually does help clear out, the bad vibes or the heavy vibes. It helps to break up the energy. So that is something good to do, just that alone. But, those of us who are on this path of spiritual awakening and, spiritual adventuring and seeking, most of us do know that we need to practice, I think, some form of psychic and spiritual cleansing, at least a few times a year. I like to do it every month if I can. Now, I'm a professional psychic. Maybe you don't need to do it that often. If you're just, not working as a psychic, maybe, I don't know, maybe you do need to do it as often. But certainly right now, cleansing is needed. So I provided you with the recipe. And listen, please pay attention here. There are many ways to cleanse psychically, and you have probably already heard about saging, using sage to cleanse the air by burning sage and letting the smoke. And actually, there are other herbs that you can, burn if you know what you're doing and you have a heat-proof dish, of course. Some of us use mugwort, some of us use thyme. So there's other herbs you can use in that way. But really, I'm not a big fan of burning. I do like incense. That's easy. But what if you don't have sage or incense, okay? So the purpose of this video is just to quickly go over some ideas for us while we're in the shutdown, or maybe even later for those of you who don't have sage, or you're running low on sage, or you don't have incense, or, another great way to cleanse is essential oils. And I love to cleanse by putting some essential oils in a bottle with some water and a little bit of alcohol for preservative. But oils are expensive, and not everybody can afford that. So what I'm putting together for you today are some alternatives to that, how you can psychically cleanse your home with simple kitchen stuff that you have available. Most people will have available. So you see in formula number 1 that I had, we had a nice cleansing formula. You simply boil it up into a tea, you strain it, you cool it, and then you can put it into your water to mop your floor. You might, if the floor is actually in need of physical cleansing, you might use your cleaner too. Just mix the tea in with it. I did that last night. Or you can wipe down counters with it to cleanse out the energies. And again, that's with the finished tea, not the individual herbs. But that's a nice formula. That formula number 1, using just simply thyme and rosemary and some lemon and orange peels. Now, if you happen to be a herb junkie like me, an herbalist or a flower enthusiast, a plant enthusiast, if you have some dried juniper berries around, throw those in too, but if you don't worry about it. And that little recipe I just gave you, and by the way, it's at the beginning of the video, so you can replay that if you need that. That recipe is a really nice psychic cleansing formula that is what I would say a neutral energy. So it cleanses, it energizes, and it works in a neutral way to sort of calm things down, but it doesn't make things so calm. You know, if you're already pretty well balanced, that's a good one to go with. Now, there are other formulas that you can make for cleansing your home during this time or any time with simple kitchen items. And I'm going to put some of those recipes at the end. There's one that I do sometimes when I need to bring in energy. If I feel really sluggish, or if it starts to feel depressed or immobilized, you can do clove and ginger and warming stuff like that, peppercorns. You can put those together and make the same type of tea. And understand when I say tea, I really mean infusion. It's something that you're going to spray around your house, or you're going to wipe down counters, or add to your floor washes, okay? But now if you're going to use that warm, spicy one, I just said that is only good for when you need to break up stagnation and get energized. If people are having a lot of tempers and fighting in the household and conflict, I would not use the warm one. I would go with the cooling one instead, and there are many cooling ones you could do, but again, with common household items that most people will have access to, you can use dried or fresh parsley, dried or fresh peppermint. So you see the cooling energy. And then if you have it, dried lavender flowers, or even just lavender leaves. And if you don't have the lavender, you could leave that out. You could just do the peppermint and the parsley, which are both very cooling. And maybe you might add, it's nice to have 3 ingredients, I think, if you can. So you might add something else cooling. I mean, frankly, you could even add a little bit of broccoli or broccoli leaf or lettuce leaf and cook it up in there. Because remember, we're trying to get the vibration to spread around and clear the air. So do clear the air. You're going to notice, I mean, even after just a week at home, you're going to notice the energy is starting to get a little stagnant or stuck, or maybe in some cases too hot or too cold. So please use one of these formulas. It's easy, it's inexpensive. Most people will have these items at home. And I just want to bring you this inspiration and this help in these challenging times. I know the energies are heavy. I know a lot of people are scared. And mainly, I know a lot of people are at home right now. And when we're at home, we need to take care of our homes. We need to take care of the temples. And one of the first things we need to do is to make sure that our temple is psychically and energetically clear and clean. You know, that it's a safe place, that it can refresh and rejuvenate you and uplift you on all levels. And trust me, if you do one of these floor washes, maybe you do a different one every week or every few days. It will really help lift up the cheerful energies for you. So until next time, I'm Psychic Cynthia, wishing you the blessings of the herbs and the flowers and all the love in the world. Bright blessings.